pregame.com.
The last time we had an all-SEC national championship game, it was a snooze fest, and I'm expecting more of the same here. This is Brad Powers, pregame.com studios, just off the Vegas trip, and we're finally to the final game of the 2017 college football season. It's the national championship between the Crimson Tide of Alabama and the Georgia Bulldogs.
And I'm thinking back to the LSU-Alabama championship game, and I'm still waiting for LSU to score. Who do you like in this game?
Yeah, and with that in mind, we're going under the total. That's right. Under 45 is the pick here. Number one factor for me as far as the handicap, that high-scoring Rose Bowl we just saw between Georgia and Oklahoma, 54-48. In my opinion, that inflated at least the totals opener in this one by about 4 points. Now, the lines crept down appropriately since then, but I still think there's some value on the under. And keep in mind, that Rose Bowl, it's not like the teams were playing at an extremely high tempo. In fact, even with all that scoring and 2 extra overtime sessions, combined amount of plays run in the Rose Bowl compared to that snooze fest in the Sugar Bowl between Alabama and Clemson, only 8 more plays were run in that one. That's why I think there's some value on the under.
Now, the Georgia defense in that Rose Bowl in the first half, horrendous. They got completely punked, turned it around in the second half. Your thoughts regarding that game?
Yeah, I mean, number one, they weren't used to playing that style of offense. Only played one of those type of teams this year, and that was Missouri. So they weren't used to it, got stunned early. Second half, yes, Oklahoma went conservative, but you got to give some credit to Georgia's defense. They sacked Baker Mayfield 3 times in the third quarter alone. And you mean to tell me an entire second half and 2 overtime sessions, what leads to scoring, they only allowed that Oklahoma offense a combined 10 points. That's elite defense.
Let's talk key injury in this game. Cluster injuries for Alabama all year long at linebacker, especially later in the year. That's why their defense regressed. Now, they got some of their guys back, but they have a new injury at linebacker. Jennings, who has started all year long for them, is out for this game. How is that going to impact this game?
Actually, it impacts, to me, more the side than the total. Negative for Alabama on the side. We've seen the money come in on Georgia here in the last 24 hours as we're taping this on Thursday. But here's why I think it's a positive for the under. Okay, Georgia, instead of going 3 and out because they can't run the football on Alabama's defense, okay, now they picked up a couple more first downs running the football. That means the clock's running, advantage under.
Let's talk side. I think most people do have Alabama as the best team in college football. How much better do you have Alabama than Georgia?
Pure power rating for me has it, I mean, almost to the decimal point, Alabama up 3.8. So when you got a line that's split right now 3.5, 4 in the marketplace, I think the line's right on the money. I'm going to be looking to bet Alabama just on the money line.
Yeah, wise guy secret betting technique. Even if you don't like the game that much in terms of the side, you know that the public is going to bet in a championship game. This is Super Bowl or college football championship. They're going to bet the dog on the money line. It always drives that money line down. So here, a 3.5 and a 4-point favor would not surprise me if we get what would normally be a very cheap money line somewhere around -155. Your second key handicap.
Second key handicap. Let's talk about both teams' conservative offenses play right into the hands of the strengths of both teams' defenses. And I'm talking about both teams preferring to run the football on offense, and both teams, what they do best on defense, stopping the run. And you look at both teams have really struggled when they're facing elite defenses so far this season.
You know, I have to tell you, I love this matchup for the Alabama defense. Georgia runs the ball 2/3 of the time. Alabama has the #1 ranked defense against the rush, 2.7 yards per rush that they give up. Even with some linebacker injuries, it's still likely only going to be 3.2, 3.5 that they give up. Tick, tick as the clock runs.
Absolutely, and let's face it, the game plan is going to be, let's put 8 guys in the box, stock the line of scrimmage. I don't have quite faith in Jalen Hurts or Jake Fromm to be able to beat either team over the top, and neither quarterback really had success versus elite defenses this year. Georgia's offense for the season averaged about 40 points per game. Versus the top 3 defenses they faced, Auburn twice, South Carolina, only averaged 23 points per game. Alabama struggled against their elite defenses they faced. Florida State, LSU, Clemson, Auburn, their offense only averaged 21.5. Don't have a lot of faith. Either offense can top 24 in this one.
And Alabama's offense even struggled at Mississippi State. Shocker. Anyone who's listened to me for years knows it's a title game. It's a big game, and I agree. I like the under as well. Let's make it official.
Yeah, let's make this official. We're going under 45. 45 in the national championship game. Number one factor for me, that high-scoring Rose Bowl game between Georgia and Oklahoma inflated at least the opening line for this one by about 4 points, even with the line coming down. Still some value on the under, mainly because that game wasn't played at a high tempo. In fact, only 8 more plays run in that Rose Bowl than the Sugar Bowl. Number two factor for me, how about both teams' conservative offenses play right into the hands of the strengths of the defenses, that being the run defense, and both teams' offenses struggled against elite Ds they played this year. Under 45 is the pick for the title game. More videos at pregame.com.